Hello everyone and welcome to Chris's Chaos. I am your host, Chris Cortez, and this is your AEW Dynamite review from June 14th, 2023, held in Washington, D.C., the Capital One Arena. And right off the bat, it was lively. It was amazing. The show was definitely an 8 out of 10 at least for an AEW regular weekly episodic show. A lot has happened for this show. This is my first time covering this an AEW Dynamite, and I was in attendance. I was there. I was witnessing as the fans were charged, and they were having a good time. We all were having a great time. Just to let you know, the chants, they weren't plugged. You know, they were real. So there was a lot going on. Just gonna cover AEW Dynamite as well as a little bit of Rampage. By the time this video airs, we'll be heading right into Rampage. I'll try not to spoil too much, but I'll let you know just a little bit of what's going on because it is a Rampage that I would say you would want to check out. Okay, we'll go over the list of matches at least and just a little brief review. I'm not going to just tell you right out who won, but it's pretty obvious like who you think would have won. There's no real surprises here. Right off the bat, just coming out of this is my first week off for the summer. Thank the Lord, it's summertime, and my fiance and I went to the wedding venue to drop off the deposit for the DJ. The full cash deposit for the DJ, give him a list of songs for each, moment that we need to have a song, whether it's the introduction of the bride and groom to the first dance, whole production going into a wedding. Let me tell you, it is a performance in itself, and we're just about there. I got some dogs I'm watching with our dog, our faithful dog Jackson, and they're probably waiting on my fiance to walk through that door. And when she does, there'll probably be some dogs barking, but that'll be a brief intermission. So, and as you can see, I got my Phantom Fireworks t-shirt on. Told you I'd have to be rocking this shirt sooner or later. And I've got just a crap ton of fireworks held at my sister's house right now. And when the time is right, my nephew will bring those fireworks to the venue, and we'll have a blast. What else is going on? Oh, AEW Dynamite. That's right. The show was amazing. Okay, right off the bat, MJF and Adam Cole, they started the show right off the bat. I was literally grabbing a beer from the concession and had to run right back to my section. Well, I was close enough. It was great. I had great seats. Okay, and I will probably post some videos of us hanging out, and also some pictures of the show. It was such a good show, and they were right into it with MJF and Adam Cole. That was an incredible match for what it was, a 30-minute draw and just a pay-per-view quality match. Okay. And right then and there, it's just saying it. It's a pay-per-view quality match. Not sure where they're going to go from there, but we'll talk about it. Okay, what's in store for Adam Cole, baby? And we went right into it. After that, we got a little interview, of course, with Renee and Sammy Guevara. First time ever, Sting and Jericho in the same ring. Okay, and whether or not this was the first time, people are questioning. People in the IWC are like, "Oh, is this really the first time?" I would have to say, yeah, it really is. Like, they are in the ring facing each other, and the dogs are probably seeing somebody walk by the house. So, gonna have to get a couple of intermissions there. And while the dogs are barking, I'm gonna enjoy my coffee. Yes. Now, there's a lot going on. Okay, with Jericho. I want to see Jericho. It's going to be, it looks to be Jericho and Guevara versus Darby, Allin, and Sting. We'll see if how it works out. Obviously, Sammy Guevara seems to be working towards his babyface turn. He's going to turn to a babyface, and he's going to feud a little bit with Jericho. Talk about that as well. Just a great little match between Wardlow and who was it again? Let's see. I try not to call him by his old WWE name, Jack Swagger, right? Jake Hager, okay? I love Jake Hager, okay? And I love this hat. Anyways, if you don't know Jake Hager, you won't get that joke. But it was a solid little match, okay? We also had the women's title was defended, right? And that was a decent little match, okay? We had Toni Storm versus Skye Blue. Now, just to let you know, Skye Blue had won a eliminator match to determine the number one contender for this women's AEW women's tag match the previous week, and they were promoting it at the show. They were promoting leading up around. So we all got in around between 7 and 8 o'clock, and they were promoting it. Now, my thoughts. I want to get the thoughts in I want that are coming to mind as far as how I felt about the show. Just to let you know, people love to talk about WWE and AEW being like not AEW, but WWE, the SmackDown and Raw shows being way too long. This show, if you're there, okay, now I'm not complaining, I'm just letting you know, it is a 4-hour show, and it starts at 8. Why? Because we have to watch AEW Dynamite. We watched Rampage, stacked Rampage, by the way, so I didn't plan on leaving. A buddy of mine had left a little bit early, and the rest of my friends wanted to leave by the time they got to a Ring of Honor match, okay? Ring of Honor match. Throw that in there at 11:30. So it's a 4-hour match. They tell you to be there. It's doors open at 7. You're expecting a dark match. There was none. Okay, there was no real dark match. So this is what I'm saying. AEW put on a hell of a show, okay? The fans might have been tired by the end, but I'm not complaining. This just goes to show Raw, and if SmackDown goes to 3 hours, both shows can be jam-packed entertaining, okay, if WWE knows how to book it. If you give them good matches, if you give us good, solid matches, okay, throw in a couple interviews, throw in a couple run-ins, throw in a couple backstage brawls, throw in a couple things to build the storyline, and give us some wrestling content. Okay, give some wrestling content. That's all I gotta say. Just came out of nowhere. You give us 30-minute bangers, and they don't need to be 30-minute bangers, but if you give us one to time, we're not gonna complain. I don't remember the days of Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar in an Iron Man match. That was epic. Probably the best Iron Man match until Bryan Danielson and MJF's Iron Man match. That was a hell of an Iron Man match. Now, give us 20-minute matches, 15-minute match. Pace the show. Say, hey, you got 30 minutes to work with it. And you don't need to have the same contestants wrestle all the time. You know you have a roster that is just as big as AEW's, if not bigger. And if you want it to be bigger, you can make it a little bit bigger. What's with all the budget cuts at this point, right? You plan to add another hour to SmackDown? Make the show, and all you gotta do is keep a little attention span. Make it exciting. Throw in a couple stats. Why do they do that? Why does AEW do that? You think because wins and losses matter so much? No. It's because it keeps our attention. It's like, okay, this is why it matters. This is why it matters a little bit going into the story. This guy's 3-0 for his AEW singles career. Let's bring him up. Let's have him face a 10-0 guy. Let's have him face an Orange Cassidy or something, a 20-0. Okay, whatever. Just get the story. Keep it fluid. Keep it consistent. Okay, and have it make sense. That's it. That's all we really ask for the most part. Okay, and the proof is in the pudding. Today's show was a banger. It was a hell of a show. Nobody is complaining, including me, who was there for 4 hours. Okay, I had a hell of a time. Also had a lot of beers, but not too many, just a few. Okay, hazy IPAs, Sierra Nevadas. They're not the greatest hazy IPAs, but they're good. They get you there. Anywho, let's get into this show. Okay, let's talk about the actual matches. All right. I know they've been covered all over the IWC, but I got to give my little take on it, okay? MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman versus Adam Cole, baby, for the winner. If Adam Cole wins, he gets a shot at the title. And right off the bat, MJF. They're doing a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of chain wrestling, just a little bit of like feeling each other out. But right off the bat, MJF is strutting like Ric Flair and Double J. Dogs, you having a little too much fun? Anywho, he's doing his walk, his strut. Okay, he does the Ravishing Rick Rude pose. Starts circling his whipping his hips. Okay, doing his Val Venus Ric Flair pose. Just anywho. And at some point, of course, he gets tossed out the ring. He goes outside to the this was our side. He goes to the crowd, hits the popcorn bucket out of some guy's hands. The guy is probably loving it. He's smiling, and then the best though is he's smacking the hat off some mark, and the mark is literally just is smiling, like having fun. Either he's a plug or he was just happy to be there. Literally, when the popcorn was smacked, my buddy turns to me and goes, he goes, yeah, we need to be down there. So he hits my popcorn bucket. So the person who gets the privilege and honor of getting his or her popcorn bucket tossed by a Maxwell Jacob Friedman, okay, is a sight to behold. It's a thing of beauty. So, anywho. There is a lot. There's a little bit of 10 counts, punches thrown to the turnbuckle. Adam Cole goes for a baseball slide. MJF catches him in the ring apron. That was a nice little spot. He traps Adam Cole with the ring curtain, the apron curtain, and his pounding forearm strikes, takes him to the stairs. Okay, the metal stairs, and stops on the hand. Okay. And then there's a pump handle slam. He gets Cole back in the ring, hits a pump handle slam, and then starts doing his HBK pose. Okay, and sets up Cole for sweet chin music, but gets caught with a super kick. Okay, so he is calling to he calls to HBK. As you know, there's a good working relationship between Adam Cole and Shawn Michaels, especially obviously in NXT. Shawn Michaels being one of the greatest proponents of Adam Cole. But the way he called for the legends like Flair, Ravishing Rick Rude, and then Shawn Michaels, like he's just taunting Adam Cole, and he's got the elbow pad. He has an elbow pad that says Vince was right, meaning Vince Vince was right about you just being nothing more than a manager for Keith Lee and not being a superstar. You'll never be like your idols, those that inspired you, okay? Your inspirations, okay? Your heroes. You'll never be like them. This is MJF taunting Adam Cole. It's a great thing. It's what's going to make me remember this match, to be honest. That and obviously a couple other spots like that apron. I mean, this match was terrific. Okay, Adam Cole goes for a Panama Sunrise. Won't be the first attempt, but it's countered. MJF puts Cole over the top rope and just kind of gets him on the outside and takes the arm and slams it on the top rope. Beautiful little move. Beautiful heel move. Cole starts to fight back. He goes for the boom at some point. MJF just ducks over, smart, hits the double underhook shoulder breaker, then Cole hits one of his own. I mean, these moves, this match it's so intelligent. It's got so many memorable little moments. MJF, I'm telling you, whoever says he cannot wrestle is a moron. Okay, moron. Okay, he's a professional wrestler. Okay, he's not a technician. He's not a ring general, but he knows how to make memories. He knows how to make the spots. He's probably working all this out with Cole and his opponent. He's the guy that makes sure that the match will be memorable. Okay, so you get him in the ring with a mat technician, you have a memorable banger of a match, and that's what this was. Cole. So again, back to these shoulder breakers. And then Cole hits another one. And at some point, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF gets a pile driver onside, onto the outside, okay? The ring apron. And there's a commercial break. And from my standpoint, I mean, I never really paid attention to, there was never really a drawl in this match, okay? Being at the show, it never felt like there was a commercial. Okay, I went back last night after the next night, watched it. Obviously, this is a little bit late. This is Friday morning. Perfect time between Dynamite and Rampage. Had to watch the show again on TV, get a good sense of what was going on from the TV viewer's perspective. And from my standpoint, there was no. And this goes to show, let me say it now before I forget. I hate the picture-to-picture commercial break matches. I can't stand it, okay? We'll talk about that some more because that happens throughout this show. That's the one thing that I will say I am tired of. I don't like it, okay? But we'll talk about that in a little bit. So there's the MJF does hit a crucial lariat at some point, okay? Then there's submissions. There's submissions exchange, a lapel yes lock, salt of the earth by MJF, and then an ankle lock counters by Adam Cole. Cole gets his boot to the, but then another lapel lock by MJF to Adam Cole, and really torques the arm, really traps him in there, okay? And Adam Cole does get his boot to the rope. Great spot. A lot of tension is flying. MJF hits a heat seeker pile driver. He tries it once. All this is basically it's a pile driver with a little bit of rope to make it look like there's more momentum. Great. And another big move was when MJF gets Adam Cole onto a table outside and lands this elbow drop. Crucial Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, Shane McMahon type elbow drop onto the table. Looked great. Cole is out, and he makes it back in the ring at like 9.9 seconds. Okay, so nothing is too predictable. We're all enjoying it, okay, because everything is just so close and looks so crisp and good that we are completely suspending disbelief. Okay. Super kick by Adam Cole, okay? Fights back, gets his Adam Cole. And a straight jacket German suplex onto the side apron. Looked great, okay? And a stomp on the elbow. MJF leaps for a double stomp onto Cole's shoulder. And then, of course, there's the shoving around with referee Bryce Remsburg, okay? For failing to count, because Adam Cole wasn't counted out. And then Remsburg, he eventually starts shoving back, okay? And Adam Cole gets the roll-up, only 2. And then MJF, he eventually shoves Remsburg into Adam Cole, okay? And MJF, he gets the title belt. He looks like he's going to hit Adam Cole. What does he do? He throws it into Adam Cole's arms and falls, gives him the middle finger, falls back, pulls an Eddie Guerrero, as you know. And it looks like, of course, the ref, Bryce Remsburg, is going to come up and call out Adam Cole, but he falls back down. So that was a great spot. Great little spot. And Adam Cole's like, well, hey, I got the belt. Let's see. I look at commentators. I know they start shouting out, hit him, okay. So he does. He gets a nice hit. He gets the boom. Then the ref tries to count. Only a 2 count. Okay, we really thought that was it. Okay, but it wasn't. Then there's a little bit of miscommunication between the ref and MJF and Adam Cole. MJF hits classic behind the back low blow to Adam Cole, and then he goes for his Dynamite diamond ring. MJF, old faithful, okay, old faithful. He gets he's about to swing it at Adam Cole. Ref holds him back, stops him. So then gets caught right into a super kick by Adam Cole. Adam Cole hits Panama Sunrise finally into a boom. Okay, at that point you knew it was over. And 1, 2, bell rings. We have no idea what's going on. Okay, I can't. At that point I was like, what is going on? Like, what just happened? Was that a mistake by the ref? And then we remember, okay, it's a draw. We weren't even thinking about, if you were in the crowd, there was no commentators telling us, okay, 30 minutes. We've had completely, if we ever heard about a 30-minute draw or a 30-minute time limit, we had forgotten it, okay? So for all we knew, we thought it was like a botch or something, or perhaps there was some sort of like screw job or something. It was really out of place, but the crowd was into it. And then we, of course, heard about the draw, the time limit, and Cole just says 5 more minutes. Crowd's going crazy. MJF gets the hell out of there, and there you go. Okay, what can I say? It was an amazing match. Okay, it was one of the best, perhaps one of the best, if not the best, weekly matches, just weekly episodic television matches I've ever seen. This is the first time I've ever been to AEW, so I can definitely say it was the match of the night, and it was one of the greatest matches I probably will ever see on an AEW Dynamite live. Okay, so I was very happy to be there. As soon as I knew that the week before when Adam Cole, it was set for Adam Cole versus MJF, I was like, are you kidding me? And I got 5 tickets to go to this show. This is gold. I was so happy, and it did not disappoint. Okay, Sammy comes out. Oh, and one more thing. It almost made it seem like MJF was going to try to, like, a lot of people were saying that this match wasn't going to follow through, and it did. Okay, and it worked out exactly the way it's going to work out. The question I have, of course, now, and if you could leave in your comments, what do you think is next for Adam Cole? And I'm like, he's going to have to at some point get into. All he did tonight, all that was proven tonight, is that Adam Cole can go toe to toe with MJF, and it proved that MJF is a hell of a wrestler. He's a hell of a worker. Okay, and so that being said, you know it's going to be Adam Cole versus MJF again. What do? They go to Wembley? I don't think. Honestly, I don't know. Do you think that MJF and Adam Cole together has the star power, the cachet to main event that what? I don't know, 50 plus, 60, 70 plus thousand people in England and Wembley Stadium to main event? I'm not saying no, but that's a good question to consider. Or is it obvious? No, MJF, or I keep saying MJF. It's Adam Cole. Is Adam Cole not quite there? He can be. He should be. Okay, but he's not quite there. He hasn't built up his star power to headline main event, to be a top guy in AEW. I don't know. Okay, but that's a good thing to consider. Or are they saving up for after Wembley? Okay, probably more likely. At some point, MJF will be coming back. So Adam Cole will be coming back for MJF. He will be. Hey, he would be a perfect candidate to take the title. So, anyways, now moving on. That was a hell of a match. Had to give it all my thoughts and comments on that match. So the next thing that happens on AEW Dynamite, we got Renee Paquette and Sammy Guevara. Sammy comes out. By the way, I love his Titantron anime. Okay, it's him flying around like freaking Astro Boy, okay? Taking on his usual opponents like Darby Allin or Jungle Boy, even MJF. It's very it's very douchey, but it's awesome, okay? It's very cool. Makes him really come out looking like a superhero or a Spanish god. Renee congrats Sammy on the pregnancy. Of course, he's been talking that up, and he says that, hey, it's a girl, you know. Little bit chancy in there. He mentions his highest of highs and his lowest of lows. His highest of highs, of course, having the baby, and of course his lowest of lows with him losing that fatal 4-way against MJF. He lost his chance at the title. So he has a prediction. One day, though, will be with his boo, his wife. Is it? I'm sorry. I know. Tay Conti. I think it's. I'm having trouble keeping up with the relationships in wrestling. I'm sorry. It's not exactly my biggest concern, but he said he will have the title in one hand, his baby daughter in one arm, and his AEW World Heavyweight Championship in the other. Okay, and yes, Tay Conti. I got it right. I had to check. Yes, Tay Conti. Tay Mello. Okay, and Darby comes out. Okay, Darby comes out, says, "Look, they're starting to love you." And I watched a couple reviews saying that yes, it was a little bit pushed. This idea that Sammy is being pushed a little bit, forced down our throats as a face a little bit too early, and it's I noticed it when Renee was like, "Oh, these people are loving." Even I, from the fans, was like, like, okay, you're trying to force it. But I didn't dwell on it. Okay, I forgot all about it. Okay, and I was thinking about Darby. I was interested in seeing what Darby had to say in terms of you'll never. Sorry, guys. Dog spot a neighbor. This is more motivation to move to, a basement for official studio for my channel, and it's ironic. We hear about podcasters being made fun of, like, oh, they're doing their podcast from their parents' basement. I'm working towards that basement. I want to get a basement with a beautiful little living space for entertainment, for playing my games, watching my movies. When I was living by myself, had the beautiful 80. It was an 82-inch TV with the sound bar. Still have the sound bar, but once we moved in together, we had to kind of consolidate. And I also had like a space for recording and doing my classes, my Zoom classes, and being able to teach online. I did it in my dining room and I had my whole dining room set up as a little office space. And of course, this is we'll talk, maybe one day we could talk about, changes due to COVID or maybe perhaps, I guess you could say, I'm trying to think of a good word that would have been applied to the changes during the pandemic. It wasn't so much that the pandemic, completely changed things as much as the pandemic kind of accelerated, okay? The accelerated changes due to the pandemic, okay? Things like that we already knew were going on, it just now has become more of a norm, like no more dining rooms. Dining rooms are now offices, okay? Dining rooms have become, it's a waste of space. Nobody eats in the dining room. Not that we don't. We do, actually. So we keep it traditional. But it's just amazing how things have changed. But one of the things that I was doing was being on camera and, being in front of a camera, in front of a live audience, okay? And it helped me, become more just comfortable. I was pretty comfortable from the start, but it helped me become more comfortable with being in front of the camera. And anywho, when we moved in together, okay, we're saving up money. I sold my place. We got more money in the bank to save up for a house. We want to buy a house. So we're not, balling out of control, but we're trying to save up for a nice house with a basement. So I have my little studio. Okay, I want to make recordings. I want to be even louder, even crazier, and not have to worry about, of course, the dogs barking. But it's something we're working through. It's something we're dealing with right now. Sorry for that. That's my domestic life, And I guess it got me thinking about Sammy, of course, as opposed to Sammy Guevara and Tay Mello. Okay, and then they're going to have to work on their new baby girl coming in. They're going to have to work on the dynamic between them and the new baby. Mm-hmm. See how I spend it? Yeah. Anyways, Darby Allin, okay, says, look, you're never going to be the man if you're under the shadow of the JAS, the Jericho Appreciation Society. Okay, so what's it going to be? You're going to be on your own? You're going to stay on your own and be a man, your own man? Or Jericho comes out, boom, boom, ba bam, boom, boom, ba bam. I got a little video. Buddy Jim, thank you. Recorded it. I'm just singing it, It was great. I'm not gonna blow your eardrums just yet. I'm gonna save your eardrums for now. But at some point, I might have to sing it if I'm into it enough. But it was he cut it off a little bit early. That was a little frustrating. But just to let you know, he comes back. The crowd was okay. The crowd got their Jericho, Judas moment, not once but twice. We got to hear it again leading up to Dynamite, to Rampage. Jericho comes out for the commentary, but when he comes out, you get to hear his whole the whole spiel, okay? And we were chanting, "What have I become now that I've betrayed everyone I've ever loved and pushed them all away?" I gotta get it now while the fiance is not here, because then if she's back in her office work, she can be like, "What are you doing? I'm really working." But it's okay, Love you, honey. So this is for you. Anywho, Jericho's like, look, clearly you don't know where you stand, buddy. to Guevara. Like, don't you forget, the hand that feeds. He's like, in fact, if you would have, called on me, if you would have, relied on me more, you would have basically, in so many words, you would have been the AEW champion. And Guevara strikes back, hey, you don't, if you would have relied on me a little more, you wouldn't have gotten your ass kicked by Adam Cole, basically. And we popped for that. It was great. And, Jericho's like, you need to know your place. And Guevara, he said it kind of like, I don't need to know shit. Okay, I love it when Guevara curses a little bit, uses the, when he says shit, it sounds pretty funny because he's just, he does it. He says it with full, emotion. I love it. Guevara is actually really funny to listen to. He's a funny guy to listen to and fun guy to watch. Obviously, okay, he's a hell of a wrestler. I've always been a proponent of Sammy Guevara. I've always been an advocate, a fan. Darby's like, hey, he's just like, well, he's just sitting back, and Jericho is like, hey, maybe we need to bring the sex gods back, take on we need to show him, show you who's boss. Darby walks up, he says, Jericho, you're a wizard, okay, but when you step foot in the ring, the magic is gone. And Jericho's like, you really want to do this, buddy? You really want to do this on your own? And Darby's like, well, I'm not really alone. And then Sting, of course, comes out. We popped. This is the first time I've ever seen, I gotta say, I believe this is the first time I've ever seen Sting live, okay? And after all this time, we were supposed to, a bunch of friends of mine, back in 1997, okay? Little old man story. We were going to go to Starrcade at the Capital One was the MCI Center, okay? We were going to go. We should have gone, okay? But the tickets that we were trying to get were falling through. We could have gotten cheap seats, but we had never been to a wrestling show. We didn't know how this worked, okay? But, man, we were only kids. But we should have gone to the MCI Center. And not that it matters now, because you all know that main event, Hulk Hogan and Sting, okay, with Bret Hart as the special enforcer, was a total bust, okay? Anywho, Sting comes out. There's a little bat match, basically. They have a bat match. It was pretty cool. They're swinging. You hear a little clanging of the bats. And Jericho loses his bat. Sting basically strikes the bat out of Jericho's hands. And Jericho bows out. Setting up a nice little match between the four. We'll see when it happens. But it then cuts, I guess, to commercial break, and we get Sting, Darby Allin, Keith Lee with Dustin Rhodes in Keith Lee's corner, as well as Orange Cassidy. We all knew it was coming. Sure enough, second match, Orange Cassidy comes out versus the Mogul Embassy. Swerve Strickland, Brian Cage, Kaun, and Toa Liona with Prince Nana, right? Dude, Swerve Strickland is a big dude, okay? When you see him in person, you see, like, Brian Cage jacked. You see, Liona, he's jacked too. But then Swerve comes out. He's a little bit taller, and he's not jacked, but he's big. He's one of those guys, like, he's got the height. He's got, like, the bone density. You know what I mean? He's got the wingspan. He's one of those guys. And Swerve Strickland could be I can't say this enough. This guy could be main event material if they book him properly. The guy is awesome. I love Swerve Strickland, okay? He is just magic as a heel. And he's devious, and he can go, It's amazing. Start of the match, they're brawling, and there's just, I know there's a little spot with Brian Cage giving Orange Cassidy a bear hug, but, not really sure what that was all about. Apparently the word no was on screen. Again, crowd wasn't paying attention to it much. This is what I heard within the IWC. Again, not paying attention to so much that as much as just seeing what's going on with Sting and just the brawling in the ring. Okay, Sting and Allin, each they hit these running splashes on Swerve Strickland. Darby Allin, he gets the back splash, and again Sting hits the stinger splash. A lot of stinger splashes. Darby Allin hits another backsplash. Brian Cage trips up Sting, sends him through the steel steps. Darby Allin hits the code red on Swerve Strickland at the right as the show was about to go into commercial. So at that point, there's just a lot going on. The heel side again is in control. Is the embassy? The embassy is in control against Darby Allin, and it's looking like Darby Allin's going to be the guy that's in the corner that's going to take most of the brunt end of the embassy just whooping up on him. Okay, in so many words. And then there's a power. I know Brian Cage hits a power bomb. Swerve Strickland into the ring with a running kick. Then Orange Cassidy breaks up Cage's pin attempt on Darby Allin. Swerve Strickland, he's got this arm bar, and I think it's at this point that you guys got back. Darby Allin, he fights back with punches, and Allin counters Swerve Strickland into a pin attempt. Darby Allin hitting the a kind of like midair flipping stunner onto Swerve Strickland. Keith Lee's tagged in, and he starts hitting his shoulder blocks. Lee hits Cage with an elbow strike. And then Keith Lee splashes Swerve against the turnbuckle. Swerve does this. He does his Swerve stomp while the rest of Embassy's got him lifted up. Brian Cage does the power bomb. Darby Allin hits and then what is it? There's a lot going on. So Keith Lee, he's about to get pinned. Darby Allin breaks up the count. Orange Cassidy hits a boot to the face on Swerve Strickland, followed by a DDT. Cage caught Orange Cassidy and hits him with a spinning slam. And then Kaun slams Allin with a spine buster. Liona tried a spot with Sting. There was a little back pedal, like a little bit of ropes. Like looked like he was trying to do a splash. It looked a little screwy, so didn't really work out. At some point, Keith Lee does shoulder block again. Liona and Darby Allin does hit the coffin drop onto the rest of the MC on the outside. Sting makes he gets a tag, he hits a clothesline to Cage. After Cage picks up Sting, Orange Cassidy punches Cage with an orange punch, leading to Sting hitting the Scorpion Death Drop. Beautiful little 1-2, okay, with the orange punch into a Scorpion Death Drop, and Sting gets the pin. For people that were there, I mean, it was everything you wanted to see from Sting. Classic Sting, okay, and nice little match. Doesn't have much, it doesn't really matter, but it was a cool little match. Got to see something going on with Swerve. I want to see where they're going to go with Swerve, and you know what's going on with Sting and Darby now. They're going to have a little, little segment with Jericho and Guevara. Now, what about Swerve Strickland? I mean, what is he going to keep feuding with Orange Cassidy until we get the title taken off his hands? Some people might be getting sick of it. I'd like to see Swerve win a title, so this could be it. And then eventually, the next person to be, if Swerve wins, great. I don't care. Give him some TV time. Make him a star. But whoever does beat Swerve Strickland, obviously, hopefully it's a face, okay? And also, make him international. Let's get a Japanese wrestler. Let's get him a Mexican wrestler, Let's get a guy from the UK. Let's get somebody. Get somebody from anywhere. I don't care. Get him from India. Get him from Russia. Get Miro on there and get him to win the title already. But come on, it doesn't really feel much like an international title when it's always held by an American. Anywho, goes back to the Titantron. Guns are getting interviewed by Renee, and that they're tied up with the Bull Club, and they are pushing this, we're the best brother tag team. Calls out Matt and Jeff Hardy, talking about how they're over the hill, and sets up the, just kind of a little promotion for the match next week on Dynamite. And then we got the TNA match, TNA Championship match, Wardlow with Arn Anderson versus Jake Hager. And as Wardlow is coming down the ring, Hager attacks him. They go to the ring with Hager getting some punches and throws Wardlow into the post. Wardlow ran over Hager with clotheslines. Okay, strikes back, shoulder to the corner, then throws him out of the ring. More clotheslines, and then hits him to the post. So Hager was in control a little bit, but only for a little bit. Hager had Wardlow in an ankle lock, but Wardlow gets out of that submission, hits a spine buster. And then in comes Matt Menard and Angelo Parker. They show up at ringside. Arn Anderson teases this, like, he points out, looks like he's like, it looks like he's calling to the side to the entrance, and who comes out but his son Brock Anderson. Attacks them, and Arn punches Menard too, wondering at this point, what are they going to do? Maybe here would be a great, if we're going to do something. I'm already thinking about them. I got some things going on with Wardlow. Get him in a segment, okay, with Brock Anderson, in where they're feuding. Now here's what you do. You get Wardlow again. Eventually, he will have to drop. Maybe he'll have to drop that title, or maybe he'll announce even before that. He could pull a Bret Hart, announce he's going to be gunning for the tag titles, okay, with his brother Owen, okay. But it's obviously Brock is not his brother, but they're like brothers with a different mother now. That Arn Anderson is Wardlow's new daddy, so they're going to team up, and something happens where Wardlow screws up, and Brock's like, what the hell, you're costing me my tag title shot, and kicks Wardlow in the knee, dropping him down. Obviously, he doesn't have to do that, but setting up a nice little segment, a show, a seat, like an event. What am I saying? A feud between the two. This will give Wardlow something to do. I know he's feuding right now with Christian and Luchasaurus. That's great. Keep that going. I'm looking forward to it. But what's next? I'm always thinking, well, you got to think what's next. I think a great feud. If you want to get Brock Anderson finally into the ring, get him up against Wardlow. Have him have a couple matches leading up to it, so we can see how he can go. So he can be a legitimate threat to Wardlow. But yeah, Wardlow needs to have feuds. Okay. If you're really going to build this guy back up. Because as far as I'm concerned, as great as he is, I could care less. I could care less about Wardlow. I think he's great in the ring. He's cool. He's definitely reminds me of a Batista and Goldberg. But he's better. I mean, he's even more like of a beast, okay? And I love his entrance music. But you got to build him back up. And I mean, he's not even my type of wrestler. He's kind of like the best. I don't know. When I think about a Batista or a Goldberg or a Wardlow, Ryback, he's what I like to think of as like a monster truck wrestler. You know what I mean? He comes in, he's loud, he's ferocious, he's running over cars, and he's like vroom vroom. And the crowds just they eat it up. Okay, they love to see a guy like this slam the hell out of a guy. And when you're live, it looks great. There's a reason why it's fun to watch a guy like this, because everything he does is big. It feels like it's loud, and it's like you can feel it. It's like a monster truck show. So, okay, and that's fine. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but if you're going to make this work, you got to build it back up. So, because he's lost his momentum, okay? And then, So sorry, I got cut off. Hager hits the lifting slam on Wardlow for 2. Hager goes for what looks like a Vader bomb off the ropes. That's what it looked cool, running Vader bomb. But Wardlow blocks it with his feet, hits Hager right in the face, and clotheslines Jake Hager out of the ring. Wardlow does the slingshot dive, a plancha, okay, onto Jake Hager onto the floor. Back in the ring, Wardlow hits a senton bomb off the top rope. Looked great. I mean, that's some good stuff. I like that. I love that he can hit that senton. It looked beautiful. Wardlow hits a power bomb, and then the symphony with more of the power bombs. I mean, I think it's kind of lame. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, it's cool. The power bombs are cool, but just to see a bunch of people just go like this, it's kind of I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good word. Stupid. I don't know what else to say, but it's for lack of a better word, it's dumb. It's just dumb, but it works. Hey, he's got the crowd. More power to Wardlow. You know what I mean? And I love the power bombs. I love it. Okay, it reminds me of when Brock Lesnar used to do power bombs, just one after the other. I loved it. He's a beast. You know, I'd love to see him more as a heel again. I kind of like to see. I look, because I you know what? And you think about these big men. Ryback couldn't do it, and that's probably why he fell off, okay? And by the way, at this point, just to let you know, this is the end of the match. Little set of thoughts on Wardlow. We'll talk about this. Because he's lost his momentum ever since he kept having like a hot potato with the title, with the TNT Championship against Samoa Joe, who never needed the title in the first place, the a.k.a. King of Television. Stupid gimmick. Then he has this little hot potato with Powerhouse Will Hobbs. Again, if you're going to give the title to Will Hobbs, you could have let him held on to it. So what the hell is he now? What happened to the book of Hobbs? It's overdue. Time to bring it back to the library, get it renewed. All right, what's going on with Will Hobbs? I love Will Hobbs. Anywho, and then this guy, he's lost his momentum. If you're going to bring him back, I mean, yes, have some more feuds. Eventually, turn him heel. You want me to be for real with this guy? When you talk about a powerhouse, okay, wrestler, the best is when he's a heel. In my opinion, I'm going to give you some evidence to support that. Okay, not saying that you do it right away because get everything you can out of the fans, make your money, get this to sell the T-shirts if they're even been sold, sell the merchandise, do whatever you need to do to make the money off this guy, as he's a face. Great, but look at some real good guys who were able to turn heel and look even more badass and get my favor. Guys like Batista, when he turned heel, that was the best run, and it was short. But when he feuded with John Cena, WrestleMania, it was WrestleMania 26. Excellent, best Batista. Okay, now he's a freaking movie star. As far as I'm concerned, he is the best wrestler turned movie star. Why? Because he knows how to pick his movies. Okay, he's picked all winners, movies that he can handle, but movies where he looks. It's not just some goofy movie. Just going all over the place. I know I'm trying to get a lot going, but here's another one. Okay, here's another good example. Brock Lesnar. Lesnar's always better as a heel. You know this. Okay, he could do face. People love him when he's a face. People love him even more as a heel. He is a textbook heel. Okay, Wardlow could be a good heel if he wanted to. And who didn't pull it off? Ryback. And why? Because unfortunately, I don't think he was quite ready. Okay, I'm not gonna bash him. I know what people are gonna be. Oh, Ryback's terrible. He at one point I vividly remember when people were sweating Ryback. Were loving this guy like he was the second coming of Goldberg, and he was this close to winning the WWE Championship. And he was main eventing matches against CM Punk. Not saying he was very green. Okay, you don't put a guy like that in the ring with a CM Punk and all these guys and expect him to just go through the roof and not make mistakes and not know what he's doing, okay? Same thing happened to Goldberg. The only difference was on this part was that Goldberg was just so successful. It was the first time we had seen such a wrestler go through everybody, and everybody was in on it trying to make him a star. No, you don't do that, We'll talk about that some other time because I know there's a lot to cover. This is why I'm going to tell you right now. I go on a tangent here because there's so much I need to cover in terms of pro wrestling, especially the wrestling that obviously is where it comes from. WWE, AEW, WCW. I've been there. I've been watching this stuff, okay, since I was 4. All right, since I was 4 or 5 years old. We're talking about leading up to WrestleMania 4. Now, this is why I like to capture New Japan because it's a little bit more difficult for me to cover it. I don't know all the storylines. I don't know all the history, but I can cover the in-ring material and give you what you want, okay, at that moment and focus on it and be really engaged in. It's a close reading of the show. So this is why I'm going to try not to get too much in AEW and WWE until I just start doing a lot more shows, okay? And with the sound of that and the door opening, my fiance has definitely walked through the door. She's going back to the office, and we'll take a little brief intermission as I drink my coffee. But post-match, Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, they're on the screen. They look like they're in a boiler room. Red coloring, looks good. The audio wasn't working. We were like, "What's going on?" But it was perfect. Actually, when it cut back in, Christian was actually making his point. So we didn't. I felt like we didn't miss much. All right. Christian mentions that Wardlow apparently issued a challenge okay, against Luchasaurus and Christian, and they accept this challenge on Collision this Saturday. Christian mentions that Wardlow's daddy, okay, won't be able to help him, and then they're sitting Arn Anderson bleeding from the head profusely. We see Wardlow run out to the backstage, leaving his TNT Championship. Good little spot, okay? It's so important. That's how important Arn Anderson is to him. He does not care about his title. Just a little plug. Then we got this little plug for Hiroshi Tanahashi comes in, a little promo, saying that the belt, the AEW Championship, okay, it won't shine as long as you, MJF, are champion, okay? He talks about last year at Forbidden Door. He came so close to beating Jon Moxley for the title. Now he's issuing that challenge to MJF for the AEW title. Great. I was having a little conversation with someone at Clyde's. I was having a conversation. We just met. His name is Zach, and he is, might as well do this little plug now, okay? He is, we were at Clyde's eating I was eating some shrimp tacos, drinking some beers, pre-gaming, essentially. And it was, just conversing with some people, talking about, the show. It's just a great time because Clyde's is literally right next to the Capital One Arena, and it's a great time to chat with people at the bar because, for the most part, people are there to go see that show, okay? So we can talk wrestling, It's great, and it's people like us love to just talk wrestling. And I'm having drinks with Scott Hayes from Big Gold Media. Okay, cool guy. We were just having a little bit of discussion on things like, well, who do you expect? I asked him, who do you really want to see at Forbidden Door? And we did discuss, a couple different people. I obviously mentioned Lio Rush versus Darby Allin. That's what I want to see. Okay. If you can make it happen, I don't expect to make it happen, but make it happen. Now is the time to do it. Darby Allin versus Lio Rush would be perfect. But anyways, we will. I'll bring up Scott because one of the comments that he made really stuck with me on this. But anywho, I mentioned that if MJF's going to face anybody, it's going to be Tanahashi. That would be a good pick. Why? Because he's got a name. Okay. And he's a safe loss. If he loses, nothing's going to happen to Tanahashi. This guy is a superstar, and he's been a star for decades. It's not going to matter if he loses, and he has to lose. He has to take the L. AEW champ's not losing at Forbidden Door. Maybe one or two more Forbidden Doors before we get a shocker like that. But yeah, Tanahashi he challenges MJF, and I thought it was perfect. It's a perfect match. It's going to be a good, it's a safe match. Let's see if MJF can go with the New Japan wrestlers. Let's see if he, it's just a test. We know he can. It's just another test for MJF. Another good little showcase for MJF as he's able to kind of rack up the wins. Okay. Now, then we've got, let's see, MJF. He is shown with the trainer to get, and Renee Paquette asks him about, MJF and Tanahashi at Forbidden Door. MJF's like, yeah, I'm going to say a no to that one. He's just, yeah, I'm going to say no. I'm not going to go face to face with a rando from a rinky-dink promotion like New Japan. He said this last time about New Japan being kind of like a rinky-dink. It's so funny because clearly it's not. I mean, of all the promotions besides AEW and WWE, it would be New Japan would be the next in line. Before AEW, New Japan was the most well-known wrestling promotion in the world, especially after WCW. And of course, TNA had its little 15 minutes of fame, but New Japan every year has a 30 to 50,000 person show in Wrestle Kingdom in Tokyo Dome. They do it every year. They've been doing it for years now. We're on, we're on the verge of Wrestle Kingdom 17, if I'm not mistaken. Now I'm losing count now at this point. Wrestle Kingdom 17. That's right. I got it right. No, Wrestle Kingdom 18 will be next year. So here we go. It's just, and some of the wrestlers are just stars, and some of the greatest wrestlers ever have walked through the New Japan ropes. Brock Lesnar, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, all of them coming from New Japan. I know, it's funny. It's kind of funny that MJF makes a little comment. Hopefully, stupid marks will be like, "Oh yeah, New Japan's just an indie promotion." You're a moron if you think that New Japan is an indie promotion. Anything but. Okay. So, and facing this rando, that just really gets because Tanahashi is essentially the ace of this rinky-dink indie promo. If you don't know who Tanahashi is right now, you're living under a rock. If you are a true wrestling fan and you don't know who Tanahashi is. And then, but he's like, yeah, sorry, no, no offense to you, Tanahashi, no hard feelings, but I'm going to go with right there to facing you. It's not happening. And then we cut to Orange Cassidy. And again, another, just Renee's all over the place. You gotta love Renee Paquette. I mean, she is a true wrestling mark. Okay, you know she's a big fan, and yet she's so down to earth, and she kind of has a voice and a presence like, anybody you've ever. She's kind of like she could. We've seen her. I know she's done broadcasting work for a while, so when you've done that kind of work and you have that personality that's down to earth, she has it. You can feel it. She reminds me of a lot of different people that I have worked with in the DMV. A lot of people that come. It's that what it is that international, universal kind of accent or tone in the United States. It's universal, okay? Because if you know anything about the DMV, if you know anything about DSE, it's a very transplant city. People come from all over the country. People come from all over the world, and they're coming together, okay, to deliver a kind of voice, and that is the voice. If I was going to give, Renee Paquette, she is kind of like the person. She doesn't have any kind of specific accent. She's just, American girl, down to earth, and gives you that an honest, genuine, which we don't get that all the time, but when you do, we gravitate towards it. So love that she's all over it. It's great that she does it. She gets a lot of TV time. That's good. I like that. More so rather than have three, I don't want to say bimbos, but rather than have three girls that really you don't know who the hell they are. I hear names. I hear the IWC people commentate on these different broadcasters that are I don't know who you are. And they sound like robots. They sound disingenuous. They sound like they're just trying to get to the next job. They're very beautiful and whatnot, but it's just all glamorous. It's kind of generic beauty. Whereas, again, Renee, she doesn't really, she's not trying to, just look like the next, it's just, she's not trying to do, I digress. But we love her, So she, again, with an interview, this time Orange Cassidy. And Orange is, she's talking about, they're talking about the idea of his, potential matches at Forbidden Door, and he's like, well, you know how it works. At some point, somebody's going to come up to us at a time like now and challenge him. And then comes Zack Sabre Jr. Now, Zack Sabre, I was jumping for joy, marking out. New Japan Pro Wrestling TV champion. And he's like, you mentioned me in the sprawl. He mentioned you at the sprawl. You mentioned me at the post scrum, media scrum, and yeah, he's like, why don't we face? And then comes Daniel Garcia. He's like, oh, I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking for Shibata. I want that pure Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling Championship. If I haven't said it enough, I love Daniel Garcia. I love Daniel Garcia. Why? Because he's definitely kind of an asshole, kind of a douche, kind of a northern, he's from the north, New York. I don't, just asshole. Love him. He's a great worker. He's a solid worker. Okay, nothing showy. And people, I don't know if people I know in the past people have said that, like, oh, like, why is this guy always on my TV? And he hasn't been, like, as much, like, showcased. But he's already established now. If you've been watching, he's a great in-ring technician. I love him. He's great. He kind of reminds me of, like, if you had, I'm trying to think. He has that accent, and he does that flex, and it's like, he's not jacked, but he's doing it at all, and he's doing it, and it works. I can't. He gets pop out of me every time, so I'm just marking out for Daniel Garcia. He's talking about Shibata. Shibata's great. I saw Shibata wrestle in one, like, little quick match. He's a great worker. I can't really say much about Shibata right now because I got to go back to my notes, but Shibata, it's going to be a cool match. If you see Daniel Garcia and Shibata at Forbidden Door, it might be a good little match. Orange is like, hey, why don't you go ahead and team up with your boy over here? It's like Zack Sabre. They're not friends, and take on me and Shibata. Zack's still confused what's going on. Guys, for those of you that haven't watched Zack Sabre in a while, if you see Zack Sabre in a match with Orange Cassidy, if you guys, and it's funny, a lot of people is like, yeah, Zack Sabre's not that great. He's great, but he's not my cup of tea. He's not my type of wrestler. Okay, I get that. That's fine, but guess what? Okay, I know what you're talking about because I've been watching Zack Sabre like since like what 2016. It's now 2023. We're going on like what 7 years, 6-7 years. And I remember he used to just be kind of like a submission specialist technician, man of 1,000 holds, but like kind of like methodical. There wasn't any kind of flair to his matches. Now he's picked up the pace. He mixes in a little bit of some other styles, like strong style, and speeds things up into his repertoire. Now he is amazing to watch, and I liked him. I liked what he was bringing to the table back then, but more and more I like this guy now. I can't get enough of Zack Sabre Jr. when he gets to the ring. So those of you that are like trying to like push that argument, like, oh, he's just not my cup of tea, or he's just not my type of wrestler, go watch this match coming at Forbidden Door and watch him. Maybe hopefully he can showcase it at the tag match next week. But watch him against Orange Cassidy. And then what's ironic is a lot of people are like, oh, Orange Cassidy can't wrestle. And then those same people are, trying to advocate for Orange Cassidy, which, yes, he can wrestle. Watch a match, Forbidden Door, Orange Cassidy, Zack Sabre. It's going to be a banger. And I dare you to be like, oh, that was because Orange Cassidy was speeding up. No. Zack Sabre is a hell of a entertaining pro wrestler. Okay, he has built himself up to being a hell of a wrestler to the point where if he's in the ring, I want to see that match. Okay, go watch him versus Jeff Cobb. Go watch that match. Okay, it was great. Okay, then we got AEW's Women's World Championship. Toni Storm versus Ruby Soho and Skye Blue. Blue earned this match by winning a 4-way on Rampage last week. Okay, and like I said, they were hyping this up. Skye Blue's mom's in the corner, gives her a little hug, and then comes we see Soho and Ruby Soho and Toni Storm. I love the little sign of Saraya, little picture of Saraya on a freaking popsicle stick that Soho's holding up, and Saraya's like got that stupid face with her tongue sticking out. It's like, and it looks ridiculous. I love it. Okay, keep it coming. Okay, that should be a stable. Okay, with this group at this point, because Saraya is so popular, so great that she doesn't even belong. She can't even make it all the time. But her popsicle stand-in can be the stand-in. So, and what's great is that Soho uses it as a weapon, like it's gonna do anything. At some point, we're gonna have to see Soho fan Toni Storm. Okay, if she's tired with the Saraya. It's got to be a thing. It's great. I think it's genius. And then you got to start selling those things. You got to start selling the Saraya popsicle sticks. Make money out of this thing. Okay? We're talking about a piece of paper and a popsicle stick. You can sell that bad boy for $2 to $3. Okay? How about turning, that's what making $1 out of 15 cents is all about. Okay? To quote Master P. Anyways, but yeah, I digress. Now I lost my place. Blue is aggressive to start the match. She's hitting with the strikes. kicks Soho in the Saraya sign, like right there, hits through Saraya into Soho. Okay, and a crossbody to Storm. I can't get enough of the Saraya sign. Okay, I'm having a Saraya sign, psoriasis. And then a hip attack to Storm to keep her outside. Storm shouts at Blue's mom. Okay, like, what do you to blame her for all this, apparently. Spray paints Blue's mom in the face, basically. It was great. Throws Blue around, but then she's getting the pressure. They go to break, of course, okay, but when a ring, on our end, we're watching Toni Storm just like put the pressure on to Skye Blue, putting her foot onto Skye Blue on the outside by the blockade, okay, and it was great little spot. Toni Storm's amazing. All right, whenever she hits her moves, she could just sit there and just apply a submission, and it'll be a feast of the eyes. Okay, if you catch my drift. And then another, she is throwing Blue Skye around like a rag doll. Okay, side slam. This was great. Okay, I watched this match, and I'm loving this. This pisses me off. Again, this is the second time I'll call out the stupid picture-to-picture commercial break matches, because I'm watching this for the second time at home last night, and beautiful sequence by Toni Storm. She does a side slam into a backbreaker, puts the pressure, holds Skye Blue there on the backbreaker, okay, then picks her up and does the actual side slam. I don't see that often. If I haven't seen it in a while. That was beautiful, okay? And then another side slam into a pin, snap suplex, kicks Blue around. Soho starts swinging the Saraya sign at Blue. And I think at that point there was a commercial break, cuts back to what we see. And this is garbage, okay, as far as the commercial break. You don't want to miss this stuff, okay? Give me a Sammy Guevara with the signs during the commercial break, doing the thing he did where he would like give you subtitles. Give me something like that, okay? Give me something that I don't care to see, because that I did want to see, okay? And I'm glad I saw it live, okay? Enough is enough with these stupid picture-in-picture. You got to do something about that. Give me a time. If you're going to do that, give me a moment that where there's nothing going on, with they're in the outside and they're just on the ground, or give me a brawl or something. Give me something I don't care to see. That's not impressive. Instead of taking time out of the women's match, okay, championship match, and I'm watching commercials. Oftentimes I'll just fast forward to it. I don't care. I got to be into the match. I'm one of those people that's got to be in. I don't want to sit there and listen to a commercial about Sonic, or some sort of stupid insurance commercial while I'm watching wrestling. Back to the ring. Skye Blue delivers a bunch of fists, flurry of fists, of strikes, Hurricane Rana, spinning kick to the head, Blue charge. She goes after Storm but gets caught, sends Blue in the middle rope to the outside. Soho gives Storm the spray paint, and Soho's distracting. Before that, they're hugging, and it's a thing of beauty, just kind of to make it look like, oh, we're working together, but just as support. And then sneaks Storm the spray can, and she tucks it away, like they're at a women's prison or something, okay? And Storm gets back in the ring. Soho's right behind her though to distract the ref. Storm tries to spray Skye Blue, but Skye Blue whips out spray paint of her own and sprays Toni Storm in the face. And then Soho, Blue then kicks Toni Storm off the apron, but Toni Storm gets Blue onto the top rope, hits Storm Zero for a 2 count. I know that at some point Blue. That was right. She hits Skye Blue. She hits Blue Storm. Was it what do you call it? Code Blue. That's what. Yes, I'm like losing my train of thought here. So after Skye Blue hits the Code Blue, Toni Storm, the ref gets distracted, and we get the Toni Storm hits Blue with Storm Zero. Then a Texas Cloverleaf submission lead into Blue tapping out. The Texas Cloverleaf looks vicious. Was good. She really torques that Cloverleaf. Sorry, I was cut off there. It was a very good little match. I liked it. I had fun. If you didn't like it, whatever. If you were in the crowd, you were loving it. Okay, this is one of the reasons why this show was so good. Okay, this is just another great match between a champion and a challenger, and again, it delivered. Go to Jack Perry and the FTW champion Hook. Okay, with Renee Paquette again, and Jack's talking about the summer of Jungle Hook. Okay, officially, summer of George. Ho-ho! I'm starting to feel naked though, sitting next to Hook. Seeing as how he has that FTW title, okay, and so I'm accepting Sanada's challenge, open challenge. I told you I'm going after title. I'm going after Sanada's open challenge for the IWGP World Title. I'm like, are you kidding? I shouted it to the title. Sanada's gonna murder you. Great little match, okay. This is again perfect. I am excited to see it, and it will be a fun match. It'll be a good match. I think it's a good dance partner for Sanada. Sanada's going to kill him, though. Okay? Maybe not kill him, completely bury him. He's not going to bury him or anything, but, it is so clearly, clear that Sanada's not losing this title. And what's interesting, I guess what makes me, smirk is that Jack Perry's talking about his, recent comments about going after gold. And I guess this is one of his hiccups because there's no way in hell he's beating Sanada. He talks about FTW champion Hook, right? He's a little bit jealous of him. Come on, that's not even an official title. So now you're jealous of this title, and what are you going to do? Eventually keep losing championship matches until you go after Hook's title? Is that what we're setting up? A little feud between Hook and Jack Perry, because that would be interesting. Okay, and I could see Jack Perry being the one to beat Hook for the first time, because Hook's has won enough to the point where it's not a big deal if he loses. They're evenly matched, more or less. Hook's obviously a little bit more aggressive, a little bit bigger, but Jack Perry's got the experience and the speed. And what I like is that if Jack Perry's a very humble guy as far as I'm concerned. He's a really down to earth guy. If you give him the win, it's not taking away anything from you. It's only building him up, okay? But it doesn't take away anything from you. So, it would be honorable, to accept defeat. If Hook accepts defeat to Jack Perry, that would be a cool little, little feud. Maybe perhaps a little, there have, just a little bit of, honest competition between faces. Let me think back. I go way back, like a Roddy Piper and Bret Hart kind of didn't. They were frenemies at some point, become frenemies. That's the best way to put it. Sanada's going to whoop up on you, Jack Perry. There's nothing really you can do about it because this guy is just now getting his stride. He's just starting to show off his legacy. You're talking about a first-time IWGP champion. Okay, he's got a complete new look. He is I can think of him as the New Japan's model Rick Martel, and reaching the status and level that Rick Martel would have if he ever won a world title. Which, don't sell Rick Martel short. The guy was amazing, right? He had a hell of a career, but again, it's going to be a good little match. Do not expect Sanada to lose. I would like to see a run in by Doki. All right, and maybe a couple others from the Just 5 guys. But yeah, Sanada's gonna whoop up on you. So I can't say it enough. But it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be fun. You knew Sanada's gonna have to get. No way is no IWGP champion coming in yet to Forbidden Door to lose. Okay, I'm just thinking now to a Forbidden Door. Would it maybe be 4, 5, 6? When one of these champions comes in and loses, who would be first, the IWGP champion or the AEW champion? I honestly think that it should be the AEW champion that would lose, out of respect to the visitors who are coming to the United States, okay, to compete, okay? What are you going to do, take their title and spit in their face? Get out of here, okay? Have some badass from New Japan win the title, serious badass, and it would shock the world. That's the way you do it. Speaking of an American, the American Dragon, speaking of a great, two icons, Bryan Danielson comes out, okay? And this, of course, I'm thinking about, we're talking about Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada. But I lost my train. I just want to say one more thing about Jack Perry. He tells Hook, "It would be great if you were in my corner." So I'm sorry I forgot about that, just because it makes me think, is Hook going to somehow play a role in this match? Okay, costing Jack Perry that title. I don't even want to see that. Okay, Sonata can beat him fair and square. Maybe a little bit of a distraction. That would be cool if I saw Doki versus Hook. That would be a cool little standoff. Okay, that would be fun. All right. And I'm trying to think of got all kinds of minds. I want to think who else would be good. I'm trying to think back to the Just Five Guys. I could see Taka Michinoku coming in just because he's so. I had to think about it. I was like, he is so familiar with the American audience, but nah, I don't care. I want to see Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Okay, put somebody in a figure four or something like that. Just go to work on the leg. That's what you want to see. Tai Chi also would be cool. But Doki would be the best guy. Okay, he's ruthless. Okay, I want to see him get in the ring with Hook and just like whoop up on like kind of catch Hook off guard. Okay, because instead of you think you could see Hook like catching him in a suplex, pulling those suplexes and locking him in, but Doki's so fast and such, like a speed ball. Okay, hitting like not to no pun on Mike Bailey, but Doki will like start kicking the crap out of Hook, and Hook will be like, "Whoa, Doki's legit badass." Wait till you see him if he makes an appearance. I would love that. So going back to Danielson, okay, and my little discussion with Scott Hayes, Big Gold Media at Clyde's at the bar, shrimp tacos, beers. One thing we talked about was Danielson and Okada. Okay, and that how everybody's finally getting this, and he mentioned that. I mean, I'm not going to speak for Scott here to misquote him. I don't want to do that. Just to point that he did say, it would be great though if we had gotten this outside of New Japan. Outside of AEW. Okay, if all we could have seen this at Wrestle Kingdom. Okay, it would have been awesome, and it would have and to kind of go on with that, it would have been great if we saw Danielson work some shows leading up to him just being in AEW, or just see him more outside. I mean, we thought that was what the contract was all about, was getting to see Danielson work outside. Now, we know he's getting a lot of creative control, and he's working a lot with, getting a lot of freedom in AEW. But just imagine how much freedom he would have gotten, coming out at Wrestle Kingdom to face Kazuchika Okada. Okay, and that could have been the first match. But whatevs, we're getting out... for one reason or another, and there are some reasons, we are now finally getting Kazuchika Okada versus Bryan Danielson, and they do a little promo, and I know they did a little promo with Kazuchika Okada versus Danielson, and when Danielson comes out to the ring, I mean, all eyes on Danielson. The guy just demands respect and attention. But I'll tell you right now, if I have to predict who's going to lose, it's going to be Danielson. Kazuchika is going to win. Okada should win. Okay, face, heel. Here's the other. But more than that, okay, visitor from New Japan. Kazuchika Okada deserves the respect. Okay, the things that he has done, he deserves to maintain that status as beating Bryan Danielson. It's not saying he's going to get buried. I'm not going to use that stupid word yet. I'll tell you when I'll show you what a burial is. Okay. You're talking about burial, you're talking about squash, which we'll talk about that. Kazuchika Okada, okay? I'm not even that. I'm a fan of him, but I'm not even a mark for him like many other New Japan fans will put him as. I mean, he is the John Cena of New Japan. It's a matter of like respect for what he has done for this business, particularly in Japan. Is he a bigger star than Bryan Danielson in Japan? Yeah. Okay, I don't think you can got to appreciate how big of a star this guy really is. Bryan Danielson, he's been in and out. He just wants to have great matches, and he wants to put people over. Okay, if he loses, it's not going to do anything to him. Truth be told, if Okada loses, it's not going to do anything to him. But if I have to put two together to see who should come out, it's going to be Okada. It should be Okada. Okay, so there it is. All right. And I'd be happy. I'm not going to be upset if he loses. If Bryan Danielson wins, that'd be great. I love seeing Kazuchika Okada get a loss every now and then. It's very rare to see. But when you know it happens, it's a big deal. So we get this. We get the rundown. Okay, we get a little rundown. We get a little like a little kind of like things to come for Forbidden Door. Bullet Club. Gold, they do this little promo about FTR and the 6-man match with CM Punk. They talk about some more things going on. We know Miro's going to be coming back. Luchasaurus versus Wardlow. Buddy Matthews versus Andrade El Idolo. I wish I could be there for that. That's going to be a fun match this Saturday. Andrade El Idolo. We can talk about. I'm probably going to do a little review about for Collision. We'll talk about that towards the end, but very much looking forward to Miro returning. These 3 matches alone, the Collision's stacked, okay? And then a little promo for Blackpool Combat Club versus Adam Page, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks. Bryan Danielson. Whenever these guys come out, Danielson's usually doing commentary. Kind of establishes him as the leader and makes him more of an attraction. When you see Danielson wrestle now, you're getting something good. This preserves Danielson's body, but also makes him more of an attraction, and that's where he should be. That's what they've made him. What do you want me to say? They've made him into an attraction, and it's gone off smashingly. So let's get into this match because this is a hellhole. Just like with Dominion when the Blackpool Combat Club with Shota Umino faced Kazuchika Okada, Chaos, Ishii, Tanahashi. It's going to be a super brawl. Okay, they're brawling. Okay, it's a slobber knocker. And there's triple super kicks by the Elite. And the Elite, they hit these dives off. They hit all of them. Hit the dives. Page hits the running shooting star press off the apron onto Yuta on the floor. Jon Moxley takes control with stomps on Matt Jackson. Tackled by Matt Jackson onto Moxley. Nick Jackson comes in with a crossbody off the top rope. And Nick Jackson hits that face buster on Moxley. Claudio hits Nick Jackson with an uppercut. And Adam Page hits the clothesline onto Claudio onto the floor. Moxley hits suicide dive on the Page. And Matt Jackson jumps off the top rope, hits the crossbody. The crossbody block onto Moxley and Claudio on the floor. A lot of floor being used tonight. Yuta with a German suplex onto Matt Jackson. Moxley was the legal man, and so he's in the ring with Nick, and they are. Moxley hits that super lariat. Oh man, hell of a clothesline and a pile driver for 2. And then we get to establish that Nick Jackson's going to be in the corner and get his butt kicked. Okay, Moxley's punching Claudio. Moxley's punching Nick Jackson, and Claudio stomps a mud hole in Nick Jackson, throwing him around. Yuta gets tagged for more punishment. He works the leg. Claudio Castagnoli comes back in the ring, stops, headlock. Nick fights. But not for long. I mean, he puts in a couple work, and Mox is in the rope chopping Nick down. And then Nick is, in order to get to his teammates, he has to like run around like he's playing freaking tag with the BBC to get to his group eventually. He makes the tag to Adam Page. A little ridiculous, but okay. Moxley legal against Nick Jackson, who again tags out. We get the drop kick. Nick does land a drop kick in order to get that tag to Adam Page. Hangman hits fallaway slam onto Yuta, dive onto Claudio on the floor. Page hits dive on Yuta and Claudio 3 times in a row. Okay, dive, back, just running around the ring. Back of the ring, Page hits a top. He does a gets to the top rope turnbuckle, hits clothesline. Okay, and then he gives Yuta a buckle bomb. Okay, into the corner along with kicks by the Bucks. That was a pretty cool move, cool spot. And then Matt does a little Northern Lights suplex. Okay, triple, right? And that gets Moxley, and Moxley tries to intervene, and he gets caught in it. And then cool little spot where the Matt does a little slingshot Nick into a double foot stomp. Moxley with the cutter and strikes after they just start all striking. Just strikes after strikes after strikes. It's a brawl. Okay, I'm having a lot of trouble capturing this, in the ring. There's so much going on. Then Yuta hits that bridge German. He bridges this German suplex onto Matt Jackson for 2. Bryan's at this point he's just going, this is why Yuta's great. This is why Claudio Castagnoli's great. This is why Jon Moxley's great. Just really getting into it. And this is why they're all at their best. Okay, is what he says. And Mox is tagged in, sends Page into the steel steps. Claudio is hits a Doomsday Device clothesline by the BBC on Matt Jackson for a 2 count. Moxley traps Matt in a rear naked choke. Claudio elbows Page repeatedly. Nick hits a Swanton Bomb onto Moxley to save Matt. Claudio tags in. Gets caught with a super kick by attempt by pin attempt by Matt. Claudio super kick attempt. Matt hits Claudio hits that choke slam. Yuta, it looks like he caught Claudio, but it didn't take. Yuta gets tagged in with a splash off the top, but right into Matt Jackson's knees. Then the Young Bucks hit those double kicks, double super kicks on all 3 opponents. Page tagged in for very devastating powerbomb, vicious stiff powerbomb. Bucks hit the BTE trigger, and Page hits the buckshot lariat. While Young Bucks hits, they hit the dives on the outside. Yuta is pinned for the 1, 2, 3. This is a 12-minute match. Honestly, I think if I gotta say it, if I like when it comes to the Elite, I like Hangman teaming with Adam Page with the Young Bucks. More than maybe even Kenny Omega. I think that's the way it should be, And then now you got Kenny Omega feuding with not only Takeshita, but also now he's feuding with Will Ospreay. We'll get to that, but I love that you set up with the BTE trigger into the buckshot lariat. It's perfect. Okay, so they're all more, I think, in sync, dare I say, than Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. But Kenny Omega needs to have a singles career. He needs to focus on his singles career. Okay, it's perfect time for him to be single, working singles matches, and Adam Page could use a little more support from the teammates. I think he's working better now with the trios. If anyone, this works out really well for the Elite. The Elite's doing what they're supposed to be doing. So still a little more time left in the show, the Dynamite show. Claudio and Moxley, okay. They attack Page and Nick, and Moxley tosses Nick Jackson over the barricade at ringside, and then in comes Eddie Kingston. Okay, we're all marking out for Eddie Kingston. If you're not marked for Kingston, then I don't know what to tell you. He comes out rocking this shirt that says Lowest Rules, and again, apparently it's like some sort of reference to whatever Tony Schiavone, like Lois could be a reference to Tony Schiavone's wife and the podcast that he does. This is how cool. This is why everybody loves Eddie Kingston, because he's kind of like a mark for the business. He's such a mark for the business that he kayfabes like the kayfabe. Okay, he's like kayfabe in the kayfabe. He works the work. Okay, he uses references that he probably shouldn't be using, but at this point it's like, okay, whatever. Okay, and he's just so. You got to be a wrestler's wrestler or a super smart mark to truly know what's going on with Eddie Kingston. But either way, you still can appreciate his form of entertainment. Okay, he's a very entertaining guy. He's very genuine and he's very fun to watch. Okay, he looks great. He's got a great look. Doesn't look healthy, but he looks great, and he goes like he can go, and that's the most important thing. The guy is healthy. He is like ring ready, so it's cool. Great. But it was great to see Eddie Kingston. And he's fighting off the BBC. He's setting up also for G1 Climax. I mean, he's just as involved in this Forbidden Door show, a lot more than you think. Okay, because he's going to be in the G1 Climax. Okay, they're going to make a comment on that. Okay, that's something I'm going to bring up again and again. He's going to be in the G1 Climax. When this Forbidden Door is all said and done and the smoke clears, Eddie Kingston's got more of a future in New Japan than anybody else. Okay, obviously Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. We'll see what happens with that. But Eddie Kingston, he's about to make himself famous with this G1 Climax. Okay, well, as if he's not already famous, but it's going to be a blast to see him work so many matches. And see what he can do with all these different opponents, these new opponents, Very excited. In runs in Konosuke Takeshita. Runs in, forearm to Eddie on the back. See? I got to look back to see if Takeshita is going to be in the G1. I don't think he is, but it would be great if he was. Then Takeshita hits Nick with the forearm. Fans are booing to just Takeshita. He's got so much good heat. Okay, hot fire heat. Good heel. Good. He's on fire. Okay, it's great, and he looks like $1 million. Okay, and he's excellent. All right. My goodness, if and just imagine if Shinsuke Nakamura was in AEW, they'd probably make him the super badass heel that he should be, like Takeshita. Okay, speaking Japanese, saying things nothing like like one or two word English words, like instead of just a come on, it's just cool. They've beaten it into the ground. Now it's not cool anymore. Okay, the come on. How could you do that to Shinsuke? One thing he's got, you take it and you beat it into the ground. How about time to die? Okay, it's not mine. That's a Joe Cronin reference. But yes, make him more of an assassin. I digress. But at one point, Kenny Omega comes in and he's whooping up on everybody, and you think everything's going great. In comes in Will Ospreay. Okay, if you haven't heard about it by now, Will Ospreay comes in. He super kicks Omega. Big reaction from us. Cool, we're all marking out. We love Will Ospreay. I mean, just to see him in the ring is great. I am not the biggest mark for him. He's not my top guy, but it's great to see Will Ospreay at any point. Hits a running elbow smash, knocks Omega down. Bryan Danielson's like, oh, there's your winner for this match between Ospreay and Omega. And he's like, he's marking he's a total fan of Ospreay. It's as if he's like, oh yeah, come join the BBC. But Ospreay is the leader of the United Empire. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they had like a big like handshake or anything like that at the end when the TV cut off. Ospreay is his own like man, so he could care less what Bryan Danielson. In fact, let's see Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay. I'd love to see that match. Talk about a dream match. Hits Stormbreaker on Omega to end everything. Danielson again, just totally blowing smoke up Ospreay. This guy deserves a round of applause. And then he hits one more running elbow. Just he's not hidden blade. He's not letting up. It was great. And they talk about him teaming up with Jeff Cobb, Kyle Fletcher to take on Rocky Romero, Trent Beretta, and Chuck Taylor. Okay, so they set up Rampage. Everything was tied in. Obviously, Forbidden Door. Dynamite and Rampage. This is a can't miss Rampage. Okay, and I really could care less, for those of you that, it's not live, but watch it because it's great matches and it's tied to the show. So we got to see Dynamite Rampage right off the bat. It's live for us, and it was fun. It was a hell of a time, I got my buddy of mine. I don't know how well he knows all Ospreay. By the end of it, he was doing the Will Ospreay, hand gesture. He was marking out for Will Ospreay, okay? Because he is fun to watch, and he's cool, and he's got a presence, okay? So let's talk about these matches. You got Aubrey Edwards, Mark Briscoe, Papa Briscoe, defeating Karen Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett, and Jay Lethal. Okay, fun match. You don't get to see Karen Jarrett and Aubrey in the ring as much. I mean, it was a fun match. We all know these people. Papa Briscoe's in there. I mean, he held his own. Mark Briscoe really led him and Jay Lethal kind of carried the match as well as Jeff Jarrett. These are all veterans, so they kept everyone safe. It was a great match. I mean, it was a great match. It was a fun match. It was a fun match, kind of a feel-good match. Okay, if you I'm not, just to give you a hint, obviously, as to who would win. Not that it really matters because there's not much. I mean, there's not really that much going on with these guys at this point. Would love to see something else with Mark Briscoe. Maybe turn him heel. I don't know. Jay Lethal, God, put him on a singles run already. Get Jeff Jarrett out of there. If they're gonna, I mean, come on. Jeff Jarrett's pretty good. He can still go, but what are they doing? Man, where's Truth Martini? Bring him back, okay? Bring Truth Martini back and be like, hey, Jeff, stay away from my boy. I don't care about the storyline, whatever, led up to, the separation. I know he's retired, but come on, bring him back. The guy's the man. Okay, he's so good. Bring that music back. Bring that Jay Lethal music back. That Stormed Ops. God, he could be competing for the AEW championship, okay, in no time if you built him up the way you're supposed to build this guy up. At least give him one shot, a run at the title. Not with the title, but at the title, okay? Get a TNT title on him. Get an international title on him. Get something on this guy. Man, is it that hard? No, it's not. And Mark Briscoe, we could have a great segment with him. Here's a good story for him. Who's going to be his next tag partner? Okay? Who's going to be the guy to get him back to tag team glory? Okay? Because he could do it. Maybe with, Papa Briscoe, supporting the decision, kind of, and as being the manager. Let's go. What are we waiting for? Come on. I mean, let's think. Again, the comments. Who do you think would be a great tag team partner for Papa Briscoe, for Mark Briscoe? Okay, and I don't want to hear any comments like, "Oh, well, it's already supposed to be this, and this. It's supposed to be." Everyone's saying it's. No, just tell me who you think it would be. Who would be a good candidate for Mark Briscoe's tag partner, just based on matching them up, good skill, skilled, complement each other, good skills in the ring, and just would fit right in with the Briscoes. Okay, just give me that answer, okay? Mark. Anywho, Taya Valkyrie, okay, versus Trish Adora. Trish is a hometown hero, and she's local, okay? I didn't know who this person was that much. But guess what? Fans were marking out to this person. Talk about hometown hero. We get behind our locals, okay? We were cheering on DC. Was chanting on Trish like she was a stable, okay? And she did good. She held her own. Taya Valkyrie, of course, the veteran and, the superstar here. So, what's coming. She looks great in the ring. I still think that she not still, but she looks great. And I still think that when she's in the ring, she's just so aggressive. She's like, I don't stop thinking. That's the first thing I think. I think like the Glamazon. Like Beth Phoenix. I think maybe a little bit of Natalia. Strong girls. Strong, beautiful, powerhouse girls. The perfect kind. She's such a great worker. Such a great competitor. I need to see more of Taya Valkyrie. I've always loved this this worker since the days of like Lucha Underground, which is just hanging out with John Morrison as he was the champion. She's great. She's got a great look. She can work. She's cool. United Empire. And this was our main event for the Rampage portion of the show. Will Ospreay, Jeff Cobb, a.k.a. Matanza, Kyle Fletcher, the Aussie chants. If you heard the Aussie, oi, oi, oi chants, came from yours truly, okay? Tonight on Rampage. We were going nuts, okay? We were going nuts in D.C. during the Capital Collision New Japan with the Aussie, oi, oi, oi chants, and we were doing it tonight, okay? And people were responding. You'd be thinking, no, nobody knows about that. No, people knew about that chant. And I think it got bigger and bigger as the show progressed, okay? By the time the main event was on, there was full on Aussie chants all around, okay? We miss Mark Davis. We need to I know he's injured. He needs to come back. Okay, we need Aussie Open to come back and just take on the champs, the New Japan champs, whoever they will be at the time. I know that Yoshihashi, Hiroki Goto are the champs. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it was. I mean, I was there. Okay, so I wasn't covering. I mean, I can go back obviously and watch this Rampage and cover it, but I didn't. We were in the moment. We were a little tired. We were looking for like key. I could tell you like spots, but we were kind of like in the zone, so it just came in and out. But it was a fun match. That's what I remember it being. All three of these matches were good. I mean, if I had to say which one was the kind of the cool down of the show, of this portion of the show, obviously, okay, I'd have to say it was Taya Valkyrie and Trish Adora. But even then, the crowd was all over it. These three matches were big. Were just fun, high energy matches, and you knew who was going to win. You think United Empire? You think Will Ospreay is going to take the L to quote unquote chaos with the best friends? Okay, no, it's not even real chaos. It's like American chaos. Of course they were going to win. And it was epic. I mean, Ospreay just whooped up on him. And you got Jeff Cobb in there. You got Kyle Fletcher. It was a beatdown. It wasn't like a complete squash, but because they know how to put on a good show and make sure everybody looks good. But it was a clear-cut winner. Konosuke Takeshita, main event, faces Bandito. Again, Takeshita's not losing this match. He's got too much build-up. Okay, Bandito, he's an enhancement talent. What can I say? For AEW, at least. He is an enhancement talent. He's great in the ring. And he put on a hell of a show with Takeshita. The match was fun to watch. Everybody was ready to go at this point, but it was fun. Rampage is stacked tonight. Okay? Go watch it. I don't care what you say. Don't tell me that you can't, it's not live, or it's not built in it's built into the storyline, all right? So watch it. This is one of those times where you're going to want to watch Rampage. And then we get the Ring of Honor match, okay? We get the Ring of Honor match. What really annoys me about this is that they're literally tearing down the ring. They're tearing down the ring now at all this for one Ring of Honor match. So yes, Tony Khan comes out, we got one more match. Don't go anywhere. This is great. I want to thank you all. We'll be back in DC, and that's great. He's so genuine. I love Tony Khan for that. His genuine ness. Vince would just not come out like this, and he's such a true old school promoter. Because I will just say at the end of Ring of Honor, the match, he thanks the crowd again. I mean, he says goodbye, everyone. And it's not to be on TV. It's to thank the audience. He's a true promoter in that regard. That's the type of stuff that is old school. How can you not appreciate that? But it was. I'm trying to think who was all in this, because it was. I'm going back. Okay, I can just remember now. Essentially, it was the Lucha Brothers. Okay, versus the Bunny and the Blade, Butcher and the Blade. Okay. And let's see, it was trying to catch this because we were so tired. Obviously,
if I have to give you a star for the show, it was Penta El Cerro. Okay, so here we go. Commander. How could I forget Commander? Right? El Hijo del Vikingo. This guy is awesome. I guess maybe they're just trying to keep him in Ring of Honor, and maybe to coincide with his schedule with AAA. I mean, he is AAA's like a superstar. He's a superstar on AAA, so he's just getting a little more like buzz around him. Vikingo is with Ring of Honor, so good for him to be there. I was very happy to see him. I was like, wow, he's gonna be here. Lucha Bros, so happy to see the Lucha Bros. My God, I'm like the biggest fan of Penta. When he was Pentagon, I still call him Pentagon Dark. Okay, he will always be Pentagon Dark for me. Okay, and he's the man. This guy's a beast. Okay, he should be an international champion. Come on. Same with Phoenix. Okay, Phoenix is amazing. But I love Penta. I'm sorry. Butcher, Blade, Kip Sabian, Serpentico. What can I say? Kip Sabian's had a couple good spots. And I will go back and watch this. But just saying, it was interesting to see. One thing about the show. Besides stupid commercial breaks, you guys got to work on that. It's just, if I'm going to critique anything, because the show was excellent, okay, they need to do something about that. And I know it's business, so I don't know what to say, but like, try to be a little more clever, like you did with Sammy and Tay Conti when they would have the little the little signs. Do at least like one of those or something. I don't know. It's not necessary. You got essentially 3 hours worth of television. 4 hours. What am I saying? You can make this work where you are not so much distracting us with the commercials. Maybe have the competitors walk down in the backstage. Maybe show us some like backstage stuff, like all access type stuff, where the people are seeing things that they wouldn't normally see, but since it's commercial anyways, hey, we can watch this. Give us a count out. Give us a rope break. Give us something we don't. It better be be very methodical about these. Use a spot that is going to take up that commercial time, and it's going to be just right so that it's not a commercial break. And if you do, whatever, okay. But I'll put it this way: I was pissed off during the Adam Cole match, Adam Cole MJF match with these things. Just rewatching it. Don't do that, okay? Let everybody know this is going to be a commercial-free hour or a commercial-free half hour, and then it's going to be full of commercials. Give us all the damn commercials you want after that, okay? Or don't give me a commercial split screen. I don't even know what it's called. I don't care what it's called. Don't give me one of those when a Tony Storm is delivering a cool sequence of maneuvers, okay? And it's something I want to appreciate, okay? No, don't do that. So, on that note, it's been about an hour and 47 minutes of coverage, and I knew this was eventually probably happen with AEW because, one, I get caught up with the different things going on. There's so much going on with AEW now. It's hard not to make all these different references, and this is probably the reason why I'm like too close to home when it comes to AEW and WWE. That's why I like to be I like to cover New Japan. I'm more objective. I like to be like more crisp about it, at least from my green standpoint as I'm just starting out. Definitely going to cover not so much Rampage. I think we've kind of like worked into that. Gonna cover Collision, obviously. Okay, gonna get in Collision. Also, New Japan Road. Okay, hey, can't get enough wrestling. June 18th. Okay, you got June 18th and June 17th. It's going to be New Japan Road. Road is strong. Okay, it's going to be. Let's see. I got some good matches to look forward to. We got Master Wato versus Kosei Fujita. We got Ryusuke Taguchi, Yoto Nakashima versus Boltin Oleg, Tomoaki Honma. Not too familiar with these guys, okay? And then you got some of the guys from Bullet Club, like original Bullet Club, Dick Togo, Sho, Yojiro Takahashi, and Evil, your boy, versus Roki Goto, Makabe, Togi Makabe, Toru Yano, and Hiroshi Tenzen. Okay. Geto, Clark. What is Geto doing in the ring? Whatever. Him versus with Clark Connors and Drilla Dan Maloney. Right. TJ versus TJP, Grado, Kaun, Francesco, Akira, United Empire. Dude, Geto is gonna get murdered. Not a good idea, but maybe he had to be forced into this match. Gabe Kidd, Alex Coughlin, Gabriel Kidd, Alex Coughlin. These are the war. What do you call these guys? I forget the name, but they're part of Bullet Club. Okay, facing Yoshihashi and Oscar Uebe. I know there's going to be a point when these two guys are facing. It's going to be Dan Connors and Clark Connors. They're going to be facing Hiroku Goki and Yoshihashi. I also like to see Alex Coughlin and Gabe Kidd face as well. And then you got Chaos. Ishii, Tanahashi, Okada versus Tiger Mask, El Desperado, Ren Narita, Shota Umino. Bushi, Shingo Takagi, Tetsuya Naito. The triple threat. Obviously Hiromu Takahashi should be in there. Versus Taka Michinoku, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Taichi, just 5 guys. Doki, Sanada will be facing Hiromu Takahashi and Yota Tsuji. So at the end, you got some killer lineup with just 5 guys versus LIJ, the Young Government Rules. Looking forward to it. Gonna try to cover this show, unless they try to take more of my money and make this a pay-per-view past New Japan World. So we got that. June 18th. I'm not gonna go over. I'll go over. It should be kind of a repeat, but I will want to see the big 5. You got Taka Michinoku, Doki, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Taichi, all of them. Sanada versus Bushi, Hiromu Takahashi, Yota Tsuji, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito. I'm very interested to see how Yota Tsuji is going to. There is a storyline here. How is Yota Tsuji going to fare with the rest of his LIJ brethren after that Matt lost to Sanada? Okay, this is what's going on. There's going to be Tsuji versus Tetsuya Naito. So that's what's going on in New Japan. Man, is it a good time to be a pro wrestling fan. So I'll see you next time. This was my first show coverage, my first video since Dominion. So I was looking for something to cover, and I had to cover this. Now I got a thing I want to cover Road, and I'm going to cover Collision. And of course, I'm going to probably cover AEW Dynamite next week, leading up to Forbidden Door. Okay, and then I'm going to cover Forbidden Door after my wedding. So the next time you see me, still won't be married, but because I'll cover this weekend, a couple things this Sunday. Father's Day, gonna go meet up with the dad. Gonna meet up with my dad. We're gonna have eat some food. Probably meet halfway between New York and DC. Yes, he holds DC, the New York area. I hold DC, the DMV. We'll meet halfway in Wilmington, perhaps. It's been a pleasure. Sorry for all the hiccups and delays and whatnot. Maybe I'll do some edits here and there, but I want to keep it genuine, keep it raw. So, on that note, you have a great weekend. It's Friday, so enjoy Collision, and I'll see you next time.
We are Fire until they close us in.